Hi, this is Aquarius Tranquility. This is video 3 of viewer preferences in Firestorm and their settings. Now, I was trying to turn in the previous video the lights on and off, and it didn't make a difference unless I had atmospheric shaders selected. So if atmospheric shaders in midnight setting is off, then turning on, oh, okay, that worked. Oh, that's weird. Okay, see, light on, off. You have to kind of mess with them to see what they do and all that. So I was saying, like, basically what you need to know is try to keep your graphics here in the middle, not too high. The higher you go, the harder it's going to be on your system. Very hard on laptops. Desktops can handle higher settings a lot better. Hardware settings. Anti-aliasing, what this is how smooth is it going to appear around the edge? Like, do your edges here look pixelated? My graphics card already has anti-aliasing on, so it seems very smooth around the edges. Oh, I was trying to show you up close. So it won't make a difference if I turn this on. It's very hard on your system, and you don't want anti-aliasing on unless you say you're taking pictures of something. Let's turn it back to midday. These settings are very quick preference settings for quick everyday things. Draw distance, how many particles you see, what your level of detail is. Hover height can only be changed in Firestorm. That's how high you are off the ground. So if your heels are in the ground, you can go here and you can like bring yourself down. I think I was hovering too high. There, see, you can move that. Trying to get it right here. This does not move in alpha, singularity alpha. Bandwidth. You do not, okay, if you're on Wi-Fi, using Wi-Fi, not connected with an Ethernet cord directly to your modem, you don't want this above 500. People seem to think that having a higher bandwidth setting is going to make them lag less because it'll render faster and this and that. Wrong. Anything too far over 1,000 is going to create a problem, and it tells you that in your network settings here. See, may cause issues if you go too high up. Depends on what you're on. If you have like incredible network settings, you still don't want to go above like 1,000, 1,200. It creates porting problems, especially crashes during porting. If you're on, let's say, Singularity Alpha, which already has problems resing mesh fast, and you've got your bandwidth set too high and you're trying to port around, you're going to get crashes. Ideally, on Wi-Fi, you want this set to no higher than 500 or 600. Up to 1,000 if you're connected on wire directly. Don't go above 1,000 basically for that setting. Anisoptic filtering has to do with, it'll make everything slower. That's a huge lagger. That's to do with distant, like if I turn that on, you can see more sky through the plants at a distance. But because you're resing stuff at a distance properly, it's now going to create lag. So it's okay if it's a little bit blurry. Leave that off. On, if you have a system that's very old, don't click this. Or this, rendering glow. If your eyes are sensitive, you can turn off glow off things, and anything that has a glow feature on it won't show. What else is very important in the settings? There's your sound and media settings. If you want voice activated or not, there's that. If you have voice problems and it doesn't seem to be clickable, then refresh this. And make sure you have the default, oop. Never mind. Okay, that didn't go on. Whatever is your default device settings, that's where you set it there. Do you want your avatar lips to move when she's speaking? Do you want to be able to hear the voice from your camera position, which is like if you zoomed all the way out here, let's say, and you want to hear what your friend's saying to you all the way over here, then you would select hear voice from camera position. Otherwise, you leave it at avatar position. generally, obviously, you want to be standing close to whoever you're talking to. So most people pick hear voice from avatar position. UI sounds is like, do you want certain things to play sounds? This is all unimportant stuff. Network and files, like I said, I was talking about bandwidth before. Try to keep it at 500 if you're on Wi-Fi, up to maximum 1,000 if you're connected. I am connected, so I keep it at 950. Any higher, you're going to have port and crash issues. Directories, cache size, I keep it high. If you're changing your avatar and you notice that, okay, now why is my face going white? Why are my arms going white? Why is it when I'm taking some things on, some things are coming off, or some things don't seem to be loading? You need to clear your cache. Your main cache, you don't want to constantly clear. You should only do that when you're having serious issues. You only want to clear that sometimes, say every 3-4 months or something. Clear inventory cache needs to be done more often because you're going to be in your inventory doing a whole lot of stuff, right? Every day probably. So I put this at a higher setting and I clear it about every 2-3 days. So if you're having issues with when you're trying to edit and change your avatar, clear this cache, click OK, relog. And it should fix a lot of little glitches. Move in view. What's important here? This disables when you're trying to get close into an object, you can't do that if you have this unclicked. Let me see if I try to, see, it only lets me go like here, not too far beyond my AVI, right? So if I disable this, I can get closer. I can click like this and zoom right in. That's holding Control and Alt. Let's say if I want to see what's over there, I don't necessarily want to go there and waste time, right? Especially if you're building and you're not sure what's over there. Click Control Alt, hold Control Alt, and click, left click, and zoom right in. That's what that's for. A lot of mouse look lets you, this is more for like gaming features if you're like throwing snowballs at each other. When you click this, you can zoom in further than what your AVI is. And look, you get like a first person view. And if you're usually holding a weapon, you see that little target mouse thing? This is more for like gaming and stuff. And if you have it on, you can accidentally go into mouse look constantly, which is kind of a pain. Then you have to zoom back out. So I leave it off unless I'm playing some kind of gaming thing. Teleports, do you want it to play a sound when you're teleporting? That's what you click here. I like to see the teleport cancel button in case I've accidentally clicked it on one of these port buttons up here. I don't like to see the teleporting beacons that show up across your screen, so I unclick that. That's personal options. Enable double-click teleports on the world map. You're looking at a world map, you see a region around you. You want to go to it, you can double-click on it and get to it that way. That's a very fast way to get there. Notifications. You can go through all these. See what they are. Privacy is important. Do you only want your friends to know when you're online? That's where you would click this. Do you want the microphone to automatically be switched off when you end the calls? You do want to do that. Because if you don't, then it automatically goes to local chat. So if you're talking to somebody in IM privately, and you don't have this option on to switch it off automatically, it'll automatically go into region chat. And whatever you're saying is going to get heard. Which, you know what, even with this clicked, it does do that sometimes. So you got to watch that button. If it's like the way it shows right now, it's not on. If I click it, see how it's like highlighted and I can see these green bars moving? Now everything I'm saying is going into the region right now. So I'm going to click it because I'm doing a tutorial and I don't need everybody to hear it. Show my favorite landmarks at login so that you can port into wherever you want to go to. If you can, and that can be done by dragging your favorites up to the toolbar here in Firestorm only. Alpha doesn't have that. Or